Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I am showing you guys how to slice and dice and chop your prep time for scalloped potatoes in half. That was way too much.
Let's bring that one back.
Hello you guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to use the Instant Pot to slice your prep time for scalloped potatoes in half. This is one of my favorite dishes, but it takes forever to make, truly. So the first thing we're gonna do is just check our weight here. I have my scale, come on, set 2 pounds. And we're looking for, 2 to 3 pounds. It depends on the type of baking dish you're using. Okay, we're at 2 pounds, 14 ounces. There are 16 ounces in a pound. So we are just a hair shy of 3. And this is all super easy. All we're gonna do, excuse you.
That's fine.
We're just using the steamer that comes with your Instant Pot. I know there are fancier ones that you can buy for different purposes, but you do not need it for this. This is about 1.5 cups of water, and we're just gonna pour it at the bottom. You know what, I'm gonna do less than that because it's already touching the rim, so probably just need a cup. And we're just gonna go in here and kind of cut out, some of these. We wanna cut out the eyes, we wanna cut out the parts that don't look, much like you would wanna eat them. And then you just slice all the way through. Helps to have a really sharp knife for this, so sharpen your knives. Okay, these are scored and going in. You can absolutely do just the traditional stab with a fork that one would do before throwing a potato in the microwave. And then we just pop this on. Let's see if I can do this from behind it. It's not going well. There we go. There we go. Could you just? All right, so this is on sealing, and all we're going to do is a steam for 20 minutes. And then we'll come back. That's it for now. All right, we had our little 20-minute steam, and we are gonna switch this over to venting. All right, we will just pop that off. And our potatoes, ooh, potatoes smell so good. We are just gonna pop these out. And I'm actually going to pop these in the fridge right now. I need them to be cooling down as fast as possible. And the thing that's great about this method is you can do this part, you can steam the potatoes up to 4 days in advance. And something I will do is I'll just make a huge batch of steamed potatoes and then I'll use it throughout the week. I'll make mashed potatoes, I'll make breakfast hash, I will do a recipe like this. So I'm gonna pop these in the fridge, get them cooling as fast as possible, and then we'll work on our cream sauce. There is one thing we have to account for with this recipe. Because the scalloped potatoes are going to be in the oven a significantly less amount of time than they normally would for a traditional recipe, the cream isn't going to get as thick as it normally would. So we are going to combat that by creating a very, very small roux. Nothing too crazy, but we are going to try to get more of the texture of a bechamel sort of thick, creamy sauce as opposed to just the traditional broth and heavy cream that you would pour over. So I have this on medium-low here. I'm gonna drop in. This is just 1 teaspoon of butter and 1 teaspoon of flour. Again, we are not trying to make a super thick stew. We just want to give the cream a little more body because it just has that reduced cooking time. We have the 1 teaspoon of the melted butter, and now I am just dropping in 1 teaspoon of flour. For a roux, you just want a 1-to-1 mix. Okay, so we are keeping this really blonde. We do not want this to add flavor. We're not trying to create any depth. We are just trying to get our cream nice and thick. So I'm gonna start here with 1 cup of chicken broth. And I'm just gonna pour it in slowly while we whisk in here so it stays nice and smooth. You just wanna whisk this really, really well so that there are no lumps and that the flour and the butter and that the roux is just completely distributed. Let's see, perfect. Oh my gosh, look how smooth and silky that is. Oh, yes. Okay, and now we are going to add, personal preference here, but I like about 2/3 to 3/4 cup of heavy cream. You can use a 1/2 cup of cream. Give this another whisk. Okay, now time for the aromatics. So I'm adding in just a small spoonful of minced garlic here, but for this recipe, this is truly just an aromatic. This is going to steep and infuse. So you can just crush a couple of whole garlic cloves and toss them in. They do not need to be minced. They do not need to be chopped if you have whole cloves. I would just do 1 or 2. You don't need to get too crazy. I'm gonna get some herbs. Okay, so I have some fresh thyme and some rosemary, but you can use any herb you like. You can use marjoram, you can use sage. I happen to have fresh rosemary and thyme, so that is what we are going with today. And this just needs a pinch of salt. And we are done here. So we do not want this to bubble. We don't want it to boil. So I'm gonna keep it really on low. And we just want this to steep for a minimum of 15 minutes. We'll give it a check in 15 minutes and see how it's doing. See if it has thickened up enough. Okay, so this is all steeping. Just keep an eye on that guy. Give it a stir every few minutes. Okay, now we are going to start assembling. These are a little warmer than I would like, but I'm starving. So in a perfect world, these would be completely cool. They will slice a lot better if they are cool. But no matter what, this is so much easier. If you have ever made scalloped potatoes before, you know that this part, unless you have a mandolin, which I don't, is the part that takes forever. So these potatoes are now slicing like butter. If you are into no skins, they just peel right off, and you can make them a lot thicker because, as you know, with traditional scalloped potatoes, the thinner that they are, the faster they'll cook. So you're always trying to get them paper thin. And you just really don't have to do that here. And it really doesn't matter if they're not staying perfectly intact. It makes absolutely no difference in the final product. But as mentioned, they will be less prone to breaking apart if they're more cooled than I am doing. I don't have the patience for that right now. This is my actual dinner and I am freaking starving. Okay, so you guys, in real time, that took me about 4 minutes. So now we're just gonna move forward with the traditional steps of finishing out the scalloped potatoes. So we are going to do a layer of salt, cracked pepper, a layer of cheese. I'm using a cheddar jack mixture. The last time I made this, I used all Gruyere. This is really dealer's choice. You can use whatever cheese you like. This is kind of what I grew up with, was, you know, a mix of cheddar and jack, but you can do whatever you want. And then you just do little pats of butter. If you do salted, totally fine. Just take it easy on the salt that you add to your layers. And if you do unsalted, also fine. Just make sure that you have salted each layer well enough. And you just really kind of drop these all over. There's no specific rhyme or reason to it. That's layer one. Let's move on. We made it. Our dish is full. We are just doing our final layer. So we have the last of our potatoes, another layer of salt and pepper. One more layer of pats of butter. Okay, so we are going to do our last layer of cheese, and you really, really want to load up here on this final layer because this is gonna be where all of the color comes in. This was an 8-ounce bag of cheese. We've gone through the whole thing, but it's okay because we have more cheese. Okay, so this is how I personally go about the final layer. I do a quick sprinkling of cheese. Now I'm going to move on to our cream. Oh, it smells so good. So you can see that has all just the herbs, and the cream has just been getting all cozy in there. So get yourself a little strainer and just go ahead and pour this all over, and the strainer is going to catch all of the herbs. It's gonna catch the cloves of garlic if you used those. And we are just covering this all in cream. That's the oven. Okay, so I do a layer of the cream, and then I also just finish on top with a dry, more or less, layer of cheese because I just want this to get super brown and caramelized and just have it be that, you know, just striking, bubbly moment that you think of with scalloped potatoes. And man, oh man, do we go hard on the top layer. This is ready to go in. The potatoes are already cooked. So we are just gonna put this at a 475-degree oven. It's hot, but we just wanna get everything marrying, everything bubbling, and we're gonna do 475 for 20 minutes, and we are done. Oh my God, it's heavy. Ah! Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I threw some herbs on here for garnish. You don't have to. Chef would pick it up and throw it in the trash because it would be, as they say, not functional, but I think it's cute, so I don't care. This came out absolutely perfect. It is bubbly, it is golden brown, it smells incredible, and this was actually ready at 15 minutes in the oven. So what I would recommend is if you are doing this for, you know, a big meal, something where you're gonna be cooking all day, a holiday, definitely steam the potatoes in the Instant Pot the day before, a couple days before. You can pull them out, slice them super easy when they're cold. And this whole process from start to finish for a beautiful baked scalloped potato dish will not take you more than 30 minutes, I promise. Cameraman Nick is joining for the taste test because
I forced myself in here.
We're both starving.
Yeah.
It looks incredible.
It does.
I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah.
Let's give it a taste.
Ooh. Creamy.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God. That's so good.
That's so good.
The cheese is like crunchy. Potatoes and bechamel is like really creamy.
Oh my gosh. Would you ever consider that? Not to the standards of a scalloped potato that was baked in the oven for an hour and a half to 2 hours.
No. I mean, cheesy potatoes at any time are great, but these are nice and quick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really good.
It's so good.
I mean, there's butter,
cheese,
potatoes,
cream,
cheese,
herbs. Done.
That's all I need my entire life.
You guys, this is seriously so, so good.
How are you talking right now?
I don't have that much food in my mouth.
No, I just meant I would just be eating. I would eat
Well,
the whole thing and then we got.
We gotta finish the video. This is why you don't come on for the food.
You talk, I'll eat.
This is seriously so, so good. I cannot stress how easy it is. When the potatoes are cooked, you can slice them so easily. You can cut them nice and thick if you love a thick potato, which he does. He likes a thick cut.
I like a thick potato.
For a scalloped potato. And I've been trying to explain to him for years that the thicker the potato, the longer it takes to cook. And you just eliminate all of those problems going about this way. The flavor is incredible. Adding the little tiny bit of roux to the cream makes all the difference because we have tested this recipe before where we didn't do that.
Yeah.
And this comes out so much better.
10 times better.
The cream is all incorporated, it's all baked in, and it's just delicious. And I'm gonna just eat this now. So I think we're done. Be sure to like this video if you do in fact like the content, subscribe so you can see all future content, and we will see you later.
Bye-bye.
Mm.
Oh my God.